What if you could paint the soul of something? Not a tree, not a face, the soul of it, the energy underneath. She paints things that we can't see. Not landscapes, not portraits, but the energy underneath. The soul of a moment, a word, a person. She lives above the Arctic Circle in Norway, and when she creates, she says she disappears completely. What's left is something that she calls a clear channel, and every piece she makes, the painting, the music, all of it, is channeled in real time, exists but once, and then it's gone. Today I ask her where it all comes from, and what she has to say might just change the way you think about your own creativity. Welcome to New Reality Awakening, where seekers become finders and stories become transformations. Each week we open the doorway to a new vibration, sharing wisdom, healing, and awakening from the visionaries of the New Reality TV platform. This is your gateway to raising your vibration and remembering who you truly are. This is where we remember that we are consciousness discovering itself. We are love awakening to love. We are New Reality Awakening. Hey there, welcome back to New Reality Awakening, the show where we go straight to the source. My name is Will, and each episode we sit down with the creators behind New Reality TV to cut through the noise and get clear on three things: what they're putting out into the world, why it actually matters right now, and how it connects to the bigger shifts happening in human consciousness. These are focused, no-fluff conversations, not origin myths, not guru speak, just real people doing meaningful work and the ideas behind it. Now, if you're curious about where consciousness, culture, and personal responsibility intersect, you are in the right place. Today, I am thrilled to welcome to the show someone who does something so completely different that it's just a joy to watch her in action. Her name is Siri Opli, and she is the soul painter. Siri, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me again, Will. I'm so glad to see you and that you're feeling good. And this is whole joy from my side of yours.
Well, it goes right back at you. It's a mutual joyfulness. So I'm glad that we're here now. Siri, this conversation will be fun because your show, what you do on the network is completely different than anyone else on the platform. You don't have a traditional show where you are interviewing guests or imparting wisdom to people or anything like that. What you're doing is you are channeling beautiful works of art set to music that you also compose. So tell us about the Soul Painter. How did this come about?
Well, did you want the long story or did you want a short version today?
Whatever you feel moved to share.
I feel moved to share about the little girl that I once was, who's still living inside me somewhere. She's 4.5 years old, and she sits by a small chair in her living room, and she has got a piece of paper in front of her and a string and a pencil with two colors, blue and red. You know what they want to get in school with one blue end and one red end. And
Sure.
then I drew a story called Kari, or Carrie, if you like, on fishing trip. 4 pages. And then I wrote sentences. Kari goes fishing, for instance, the sun is shining, something like that, with illustrations and a story. And my father stringed it together with a red string. And I was so proud. That was the beginning of the Soul Painter. Long before I started school. So I remember drawing and writing my whole life, and also starting to paint before someone even told me how to, because I feel drawn to it. It's the only way I can describe it. I always want to put something out there. And many, many years later, ending my career as a teacher, who I thought I was going to be, my whole life I thought I was going to be a teacher, but my soul was saying, no, you can't do that because the system is somewhat cranked up in a faulty way. So I don't fit into that system, long story short. So I just followed my purpose and my calling, and I started painting on full time. And I wondered why I was collecting pens in the drawer and stacks of paper on my desk. For years and years, I did that without knowing what it was for. And then
Wow.
I was asked, do you want to illustrate my book? And I said, yes, I want to do that. And I found myself illustrating not from actual reading the words, but to the energy of the words. And I felt myself going completely blank and empty as I was doing the illustration, and really peaceful in addition to that. So I felt it was a win-win situation, both for me and for the author who I was illustrating for. So after that, I said to myself, if I can do that, I can illustrate for anyone. And even longer story, even shorter, I ended up with you guys and having a scene where I can stand on and just show the world what I'm doing. That is not quite completely true because you can't see what I'm doing. And even I can't understand what I'm doing. And just picking down the energies from if it's words or if it's song lyrics or if it's even this situation with you and I. You know, I painted the interview with you and Karen last time. You still have the view of that drawing painting. So it's quite normal for me, but it seems magical to people like yourself to be watching it. And you've been saying it's mesmerizing.
It,
And
it,
I don't, it's beyond words. That is a phrase I love to call it, because I don't really have a human explanation of what I'm doing. I'm just being an open vessel, being present and emptying myself. The normal Siri Opli, she walks out the door and just I'm a tube of light when I channel through and allow things to come through to me and down to the paper or the canvas, like the one
Fair.
behind me. So I hope that was an answer for you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It answers a lot of questions, and it's interesting. You stated that even the viewers can't see what you're doing. What they're seeing is the end result of what you're doing. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, but they're watching it in real time as it's happening, and that is a cool thing about it.
Yeah.
When regular Siri walks out the door and you're a clear channel for these things, people talk about automatic writing all the time. A very famous set of books called Conversations with God were written that way, where it was automatic writing. He was channeled, having a conversation with God. And he was writing down God's answers and things like that. It sounds like that's kind of what you're doing, right? You are just allowing the universe to go through you and just put whatever is meant to be on the paper, on the canvas, right?
You're right. It's exactly what I'm doing. And I've been reading some of that book passages and hearing that, okay, so because that feels exactly like what I'm doing. I have been searching for years for someone to describe what I'm doing, because to me it's all natural. It's no effort at all to just open up and just do that. But it is a true connection to the source, yes, and I just need do nothing really but to take a pen or a brush or a paper, and I'm open. So that can be both a curse and a gift, of course, but because you it's like a tap. I can't turn it off. It's always on go, if you know what I mean. So,
Mm.
and for the most time, I'm having fun with it because that's what I'm here to do. I'm channeling whatever I'm set to channel. But in social settings, it can be a real, what do you call it? I can get really exhausted by being with a lot of people, because I also channel whatever comes through, and I have to let it come through and decide, do I need to draw this? No, I don't. So I'll just let it go. And I heard this description of how Michael Jackson worked when he was inspired and how he got his songs. And we have this Norwegian singer-songwriter who does the same. He wakes up in the middle of the night and he gets an idea coming down, and it feels like God sent it or source sent it or something we can't touch, sent something. And if we don't take it down, off it goes. It disappears.
Right.
So that's
Right.
the reason why you have to take it while it's there. And if you don't it vanishes. So yeah, I'm connected to the source indeed.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
incredible blessing that you
Yeah.
have that connection. So many people seek all their lives; it just comes so naturally to you. So
Yeah.
congratulations. And I should mention, because some of the folks that are listening or watching may not be aware, one of the cool things about New Reality TV is that we have content partners from all across the world, and that some folks might be noticing the way that you speak and things like that. So can you tell us, can you tell the audience, where do you sit? Where do you live right now?
Right now, I live in Fauske. That's a very different language than yours. Fauske is in northern Norway, just above the Arctic Circle. And we just had the tipping point in the year where it goes from being a certain balance of light and day until being light 24/7. That's about now in the beginning of May. So eyes go wide open, and now I start channeling like hell, so to speak. It
Right.
really comes through, and the light is really, really mesmerizing. That's the word I love. So, yeah, that's where I live, but I don't originally come from here. I'm born way south in Norway, and I
Right.
feel that my heart and my soul, as I age, long deep south in Norway to have a balance that's humanly normal.
Sure. Yeah. It must be exhausting to have
Yes.
24/7 daylight or
Yeah.
24/7 night. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does the day and the night, you mentioned during the day, you tend to channel a lot more. Can you figure out, is there a reason why that might be?
I think it's like the spring in me and a spring in the nature. I'm very connected to Mother Earth, to Gaia, and the soul of the earth. And so when she wakes up, she wakes up the colors inside of me, and I get very connected to plants and bees and everything that surrounds me. So I go into nature and get this huge amount of inspiration. So I guess it's natural because wintertime is hibernation kind of like stuff, and waking up and it's like, oh, it's refreshing. So I start to live again and produce and come up with new things and meet new people and channel new stuff. And yeah, it's
Oh,
nature, really. Nature is the
yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually took a trip up to we went to the Norwegian fjords on our
Wow.
cruise, and it was in the summertime, so it wasn't night; it was daytime. But we did go to the Arctic Sea for a while, by the Arctic Circle, and there was a time when the sun set, it didn't quite set. It was right that twilight sense all night long until it became bright again. It was really unnerving,
Yeah.
quite cool at the same time,
Yeah.
but quite unnerving. So, what brought you to the north? Did you just feel like, hey, let's just hibernate for 6 months out of the year?
No, I was studying in Trondheim, which is right in the middle of Norway, when I was in my 20s, right about after 20. And I got bored of that because too much studying for an artist, that doesn't match. So I moved to a place to start to practice as a teacher without having education. I was just
Mm.
going to stay there for 1 year. That's 33 years ago. So, love happened and met my husband. We're still together, and that's the reason why. So we've been moving a lot, but we ended up here now because it's like when your parents grow old and they get sick, you want to stay close to them. And
Sure.
so now it's his father and his aunt, old sick people. And maybe when time comes, it's my turn to stay close to my parents again. So they live down south in Norway. So we're not having our roots put down anywhere. We have moved a lot, but
Right.
love is the reason I moved up here. Mm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. So getting back to your work, because I find it super fascinating.
Yeah.
I mentioned in the beginning in the intro of the episode that you not only do you allow the source to go through you in these beautiful works of paintings that you do. Some of these episodes you do it with pencil, right? There's one that's just one line. You do an entire piece of work with just one, without lifting the pencil at all, which is fascinating. But one of the things that really catches my attention on a lot of these things is it's always accompanied by music.
Mhm.
And from my understanding, that comes from you as well. Is this also a channeled thing?
Yes, it is. I also was trained in a musical school and a musical high school. I think when I was, after secondary school, you go to high school. That's the same as with you guys. And then I practiced the piano. I've been doing that since I was 9, on and off. And then when I was a teacher, I played piano with the kids singing easy children's songs. And then I stopped for a while until we had like a family crisis of some kind in our family that made me suddenly go to the piano and just play it by myself, for myself, when I was alone. And I felt this same quiet and inner peace that I feel when I have been drawing for like 10, 15 minutes. This inner calm that we all have innate in ourselves. It was somehow I lost it during this crisis. You get stressed for kids not feeling good, and as a mother, it's very tough. So I needed some outlet, and I didn't want to paint or draw. So it was winter time, and hibernation was in in me. So I took to the piano, and I have an electrical piano, so I actually can record the music. And so after a while, uh, it was Tom Evans actually who said to me, "Why don't you record it? If it helps you, why not help other people with it too?" And the thing is, I channel on the piano. I started calling it piano paintings because I felt like I was painting on the piano, like I was painting on a canvas. And
That's
then
beautiful.
I paint it in the moment and 5 minutes perhaps, and then I can never paint it again on the piano. So I started recording them, and I have this huge library of piano pieces, long, short, and also a bit of ambient music that just is channeled the same way as the paintings. Me going empty, going just like a vessel and painting. And I found, first of all, it's for me, but then again, it's also this universal cosmic divine source layer in everything that makes people say, wow, more. It gives me this and this feeling, and where can I find it? How do you do it? And thing is, I don't know how I do it. I just play. And of course, there are remnants of whatever I have been taught as a piano student. So some musical theory is in it, but I can never copy it and I can never play it the same way I did in the moment. And I was also told it resembles, what is it called? Joni Mitchell in some.
Oh,
So who knows? Some channeling. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it complements the paintings perfectly. So I would encourage anyone who hasn't watched Siri's show, The Soul Painter, yet to run, don't walk, and watch those. They're short. They're not very long, because you mentioned on a previous interview that when the piece is done, it's done. Your energy just stops, and so you can't keep doing it. You just stop. And so some pieces are very short. I think we've had some that are like 2.5 minutes. Other ones are closer to 15 minutes or so, something like that. So, but they're all beautiful, kind of eyes open meditation. You're just sitting here watching you paint or channel the paintings while listening to the music that you also channeled. It's something about it aligns a lot of energies in you, which is why I say it's mesmerizing. It's hard to look away because it's just mesmerizing.
Yeah, it is. It's non-copyable, if that's the word. You can't copy it, and nobody can. And I even tried transcribing the music to normal sheet music in an app. It didn't put the bars in the right place. It didn't have the right tempo. But the notes were there, but I can't copy it again. I can't multiply myself again. It's impossible. So yeah, mesmerizing. It mesmerizes me too. So that's good.
All right. But it's good that you've got the recordings, because I can't imagine how many pieces you've lost by, oh, darn it, I didn't start the recorder.
I think I've lost a few, yeah. But I think
Yeah.
also that was more in the beginning. Now I'm very careful to sit by the piano. Did I have something to record it with? Yeah, I do. So yeah, but it's a long time since I've been recording on purpose, so to speak, to rig it up and just sit there and decide. Now it's channeling time, because that's not how I work. So I wish I had a studio just standing there waiting for me to just drop down and play, and that's it. But not so far. That's a dream I have.
Has it ever come to a point where you all of a sudden get struck? I need to sit down and paint, or I need to sit down and write this music, where you literally have to stop, or do you have to get yourself into a mindset before it starts flowing?
The latter first. I used to do that. I used to meditate, and I used to really concentrate on getting a connection, until I found out that no, that's not how I work. So I just need to be in my room and just breathe, because breath is the connection to the source. And to meditate, I did that for some years until I found out that I'm doing it all the time, because I'm always connected. And being a clairsentient is also very helpful, because I feel when the energy is pulling me or pushing me. So that's the signals I get. I guess that's what you're asking for, really. So I don't have this timetable or scheduled planning of painting or music. I can't do that, because it comes and goes. And it also, with perimenopause, the days are like this. It's a roller coaster, up and down, a hot, cold, sleep, don't sleep. So you never know. That's a great thing about it. It's very surprising and very much fun. Yeah, that's how it works.
Well, it's kind of cool to think you live in your life completely in the flow. You're just allowing the flow to take over. That's fantastic, and I'm not jealous at all. Okay, maybe a little bit.
You want some water element from me? I can give
Mm. Well, but they're also important to note that you do these for folks, right? People can commission you, and so how for someone to do that, how does that work? Do they go on a call with you so you feel the energies, or how do you find the right painting for a person that commissions you to create one for them?
I have done both books and podcast covers and banners for like Facebook, and even covers for some bands on Spotify. And it all goes down to the energy of it, really. So before I was really putting myself out there, saying, hello, here I am. You want to commission me? You can. But then it is something of a decision to make, because when you go available for commissioning, then you are selling yourself. And I don't want to be selling myself. I want to attract the right energies. So
Right.
I would say I've expanded into being scarce, if that's right to say, because not everything is for me, and not all is my art is not for everybody, and it's not for everything, if you get me right. But I'm also very open to co-creating and being put in the right places where the energy is right. So I'm very careful not to spread myself too wide on this, because it feels like the gift I have is to work towards inner peace for everyone through art and music. That's it also. But also my overarching meta structure is world peace through all of this. And so it's, of course, is directing me towards the right stuff for me to do, which sometimes results in much work to do, and sometimes results in little to do. So I just need to balance everything. But people can absolutely commission me to do things, but it's got to do with energy, and it's got
Sure.
to do with not fear-based energy.
Right. That's very important to call out, for sure. Yeah.
The love energy, and also the Christ energy that we all are having inside ourselves, and also the flow that you mentioned. If there are any resistance between me and the people I'm working with, it feels like off. But then again, the people are guided towards me and not the other way around, I feel, at these
Right.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we should mention, for those that are listening or watching, your art, by and large, for the most part, is abstract, right? So you're not painting trees and flowers and mountains and lakes. You are actually painting I mean, I'd hate to say, I mean, I guess I don't hate to say it, but the only word that comes to mind is you're painting the soul of something, of a situation, of a person,
Yeah.
so that's the soul painter. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Siri, what is next for Siri or the soul painter? You have any plans for the future?
Yeah, like I said, my plan is to help the world get into a more peaceful state. That's a large goal.
Yeah.
The more local goal now is to co-create with other artists and also arrange courses for people who are just like me at some point, feeling that they feel outcast of the society. That could be children or adults that feel that they don't have any interest in football, these mainstream A4 activities. They can have um, an activity that they can join that is also allowing their soul to grow. And maybe then they can go back into society in some different way. That's the one thing I'm working with at the moment. And also, I am a coach. So expanding my coaching skills is also on the plan this year. And also, this and next year is the year that everything is going to change, isn't it? So working on that
That's
too. Yeah.
that's what they say. Yeah. So when you're talking about a coach, are you a spiritual coach? What kind of coach coaching do you do?
I would say I'm a life coach.
Okay.
I help people in transitioning states where, for instance, where if you change jobs, if you're in a situation where you feel you have lost the zest for life or you have a question that you want answer to, I can channel the art answer for that, or I can talk to people about it. And I have this Drawing It Out program that I think I mentioned before. Now it's even more pinpointed towards ladies in perimenopause from 38 to 65. That's a group I'm aiming towards now. So the Drawing It Out is tailored around that now.
Oh, very cool. Very,
Yeah.
very cool. Well,
Yeah.
well, if someone wanted to be coached by you or join the group or commission you for a painting, how can someone reach out to you?
The easiest thing is by email or by Planet Siri. That is my landing page. And also on Substack. I'm on there. But Siri at siriopli.com is my email. It is straightforward and very easy to remember. And the only Siri Opli in the world. Yeah.
Right. Except you are not the only Siri. I think everyone in the world has a Siri in their pocket right now. And
Yeah.
every time we say your name, it activates. So
Yes.
sorry about that. And
But
ahead of
why
time.
not call me instead? Because I can also help you.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Siri, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a long time. I'm really glad to be reconnected. If you're interested in watching The Soul Painter on New Reality TV, I would encourage you highly to do that and come with an open mind and a meditative state because you will definitely get a lot out of it. So thanks so much for being on the show, Siri.
Thank you. Well,
Now, that's the kind of work that we like to spotlight here, not because it has all the answers, but because it asks better questions and invites real engagement. If this conversation sparks something for you, you can explore more of Siri's work on New Reality TV. And if you're someone who's curious about consciousness growth and where personal responsibility actually meets spiritual exploration, well, this is what we do here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on New Reality Awakenings.